What's going on, y'all? My name is Joltage, and today, bringing you the LCUU recap for LPL 6, Week 6. This time, I'm joined once again by LCUU cheerleader Kip.
Back again, as usual.
Back again, once again. We've got Zero, once again as well.
Howdy, folks. What's going on?
Making a back-to-back appearance, JC.
Ayo.
And making his debut appearance, my opponent for this week, qwes.
Yo, what's up?
All right. So we had some pretty interesting games this week, and let's just hop right into it with the first one between Albinson and Kip. Both brought kind of similar looking teams. Both had the qwes Joltik Baltoy rocking with, but this game was defined by one thing and one thing alone, and that was the fact that Kip did not bring knockoff, and Albinson had a munchlax. So Kip did bring webs. Why don't you talk us through your team real quick?
Well, I didn't prep extensively. I looked at the usage stats and I saw, Grubbin is at a 100% win rate. Maybe I should bring webs again. And then I just slapped together webs with some Pokemon that are notoriously difficult to switch into. So the Baltoy was the Life Orb set that was very successful week 1. Joltik and qwes are obviously nightmares to switch into. Mora was Eviolite, and then my choice for the spin blocker was Bumpkaboo, because I wanted to be good versus Sandshrew and Diglett Alola. Well, like you said, the problem was he had a Munchlax and I had no way to hit it super effectively. And I also had 5 months that with special coverage instead of physical, which means that from the bat I couldn't really threaten it. And then the small misplay I made was I Giga Drained with my Bumpkaboo when it was full, which decreased my longevity since I didn't have Synthesis, allowing his Munchlax to wear me down in the end, where from almost unwinnable, it was truly unwinnable. And that's how he won, because he had a better team.
Yeah, this was a Munchlax's wet dream, to be sure. Your only thing that it couldn't just, kill outright was the Pumpkaboo, but your Pumpkaboo didn't have the most longevity. Even if you did have Synthesis, though, with the only 8 PP, I'm not sure how well that would have went. But
I mean, if it had Synthesis as well as Giga Drain, I could have PP stalled the Earthquakes.
True. But yeah, so Munchlax basically just boosted to oblivion and wasn't able to be touched by Kip's plethora of special attackers. You didn't get very lucky with your Baltoy getting a special attack by getting a special defense drop when you went for the Psychic there. And yeah, it was just once Munchlax came in, it was basically done.
Yep.
I don't mind
So remember to bring your knockoff kits.
Bring your knockoff, or bring at least bring some a fighting move. You didn't necessarily need one though. qwes could maybe fit it here on a more traditional looking version of the team, but I don't know. It's tough with picking qwes coverage, to be sure. But yeah, talking about Albinson's team, obviously, it was, I don't know, I'm not really sure how to describe it in general. It kind of I'm not sure what the concept was behind it, if it was really built with the idea of getting Munchlax to just boost to oblivion and destroy things, or if it was just Munchlax is just
I mean, I brought 3 or 4 of the same Pokemon versus you last team. I reckon it's possible the Goldeen was Poison Jab again to get rid of Cut for the Munchlax.
Yeah.
That it obviously
They said it was Poison Jab.
Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
I ran that last week. It's essentially the same core, just with a different execution in the end.
Fair. Yeah, no, that makes sense. It is very
May I
reminiscent
add
of that
something?
team. What's up?
Sure.
Um, while looking in the builder for qfint switches, I found that Bronzor was oddly a really good choice given qfint's coverage.
Yeah.
But the sad part about that was that qfint, besides this game, wasn't really well in mine, but wasn't really doing much
Yeah,
in
qfint
my
did
opinion.
not have the best week. It was brought 5 times.
tough
The
week.
only
Yeah.
time it picked up a win was in this mirror here. Um, yeah, it was not qfint's best week. Bronzor, who hasn't been seen, I don't think this who hasn't been
At
seen
all.
this gen, is kind of held back mostly by the fact that it hits like a wet noodle and is tough to prevent things that are really threatening from coming in on it. Like Stunky, for example, you have to run Earthquake. If you're in an Earthquake, it's like you're splitting between physical and special because it doesn't have a good physical like stab move like Zen Headbutt or anything. Bronzor's a tough one. But definitely a mon that I think could be explored a bit more. Being knock weak is also kind of bad unless you're versing a team like we're seeing here on Kip's side, obviously. But yeah, so like I said, this game was just defined by the Munchlax, and yeah, a long game because it took Munchlax a while to actually kill everything. But in the end, there was no doubt what was going down.
Yeah. Props to Avison.
Yeah, no, it was a great bring. Munchlax had insane matchup, and yeah, it just worked out. Anyone have any closing remarks on this game before we move to the next one?
Not really. Like it was like very direct. The moment the Mindslax didn't have anything stopping it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's not much to say other than like, well, again, bring their knockoffs.
Yeah.
Damn, Mindstacks really popped off, huh?
Yeah, man. The noted
Yeah.
Munchlax hater JC has to give Munchlax its props when it finds the matchup. But speaking of finding matchup, next game, another Mon had insane matchup, and that's Golett, which was brought by my opponent qwes. Why don't you talk us through your team? We haven't heard you before this video, so let's hear what you were thinking about when you were building or decided to use this team.
Honestly, Golett and Amora have, I wouldn't say the greatest matchups, but like their stabs go burr.
Mm-hmm.
And everything was just about the scarves. The Goldeen was so that I had a second Mon because originally I was gonna use Carvana, but then I needed a Natu switch, and I don't know if you guys are looking at the team right now, but the team doesn't like to switch into a whole lot as far as Stunky, Natu, and a couple other things, Pancham. But I just had to resource manage a lot in testing, and it was hard because I was getting a lot of tilts because people knew my Mons or Scarf.
Sorry,
Which
qwes.
it's all good. It's all good. But after that,
Yeah.
after that, Cot is glue, and how I don't lose to Ammonite because the scarves do nothing to Ammonite or a boosted Carvana. It also helps versus weather with that same tailwind, because Sandshrew is only 14, and if you double any faster Mon, you beat out the Sandshrew. And the last thing that I really felt was important was Pancham for special for not for special coverage, but for the special covering Munchlax and other steel types, because Krogunk, which I was also originally using, it also hated ground, and my sand matchup was terrible, and I was like, if Joltage likes sand this week, like last week, it could be a very big problem. So, no.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I think the double scarf is cool. Amara obviously didn't really get much play in the game itself, but you two of your mons in this game had insane matchup were obviously Golet, but also Stunky, where my team is admittedly not very good against Stunky either, which is why my own Stunky switch in happened to be the Stunky, and a couple of speed ties went unfortunate in went against me in the Stunky matchup. Also in the Goldeen on turn 2, I really wanted the slower flip after losing the turn
right
on the first one, but
got the crit, but
yeah,
it went out first.
So those were unfortunate for me. Me losing my Stunky early on was obviously a huge problem for me, both like for Cottony and stuff, but also just preventing Golet from being able to, click Poltergeist. Not that it actually clicked Poltergeist this game. But my team was built as just trying to use Bunnelby, because I think Bunnelby's not as bad as I thought it was before heading into the season. And this team performed really well in tests. Like, it wasn't having any real issues. But I didn't run into a Scarf Golet who just completely shuts down anything Bunnelby's doing. And just is faster than my Ella Kid, so I can't do anything with that. So it was just really tough for me. You got the freeze on my Cot with the predicted Ice Punch, but I don't think that mattered that much because I was already in a bad spot at that point. So it was definitely tough for me to actually make headway in this game. But you played it very well, and I got I'm just obviously disappointed in myself for being 0-4 this season, but hopefully I can pick up a win in the last week, but who knows. But yeah, you played it well, and just you brought a really good team against what I ended up bringing. I'm not sure if you expected any of the mons that I brought other than maybe like Cod, because I'm a big Cod guy, but it worked out for you for sure.
I mean, go ahead.
You sure? I only expected Stunky. Everything else was either like a staple, like Goldeen or Cot, or like probably Pancham. They were like, Joltage loves Pancham, so I was like, okay, cool. Let's hope he doesn't knock spam, and he didn't even bring it.
Yeah.
What I found interesting though is that we had the mirror of Cot, Goldeen, and Stunky, and I thought that was really telling of like the format.
Yeah, Goldeen's so good in like the fact that it is an electric switching sort of against non-Joltic at least, and it like flip turn's so excellent on it. It's a good Krogunk check feat with its drill run. It has knockoff, obviously. It's just such a good mon. I wanted to
poison jab for Cot.
Yeah, poison jab for Cot. Though mine wasn't poison jab on this one. It could have been.
Oh, interestingly.
Yeah. I decided I didn't need it with the Stunky and the Q-Fint as Cot coverage.
Right.
And just decided to go for the big water move, which was useful against things like Sandshrew in particular. Just having another stronger move to hit it. But yeah, Goldeen's very excellent. We both decided to bring that. Obviously, Cot is Cot. I think we probably had the same Cot set. Yours was probably faster than mine, but in terms of moves, we probably ran the exact same stuff, because I also had the Tailwind as, I've got two really strong wall breakers in Bunny and Q-Fint that can really take advantage of that. And you've got, well, your wall breakers already have speed with the scarves, but they'll also obviously appreciate a Tailwind if it comes down to it. So I think we had pretty similar ideas and stuff. Yeah, if they get knocked. I mean, if Golet gets knocked, I don't think it's doing much after.
Yeah, it usually does, but
yeah. Yeah, Kip, you had
if it
some...
gets
cool
corrosive gassed.
Yeah, there you go. I thought it was cool that this quest team was kind of in structure. Well, it was different, but kind of similar to the team that Jocks brought week 1. was double scarf, Amora. Uh, there's like a kind of strong pivot. Kind of have like, you know, Goldeen instead of Joltik, and then Pancham instead of Krogunk, and then the Golett over the Sandshrew. But yeah, I mean, I think it ended up kind of playing the way that we wanted that team to execute, where the Scarves, or really just the Scarf Golett, was able to create a ton of pressure, and the pivots were able to kind of work around it. But that was cool to see, and yeah, I'm glad that worked out. Definitely, like I mean, you know, Quest and I are old teammates, and we play together a lot and test together a lot. So, like, I kind of expect, I expect him to. He's someone who I know may have like multiple Scarf Mons, which is, I think, a pretty unusual style of building. And it's not something that I would normally kind of gravitate toward. But I think in the current meta, this is like, I think, another example of how unstable the meta is. You know, there's kind of merit to it to have that additional speed control, to have like all this offensive pressure. I mean, the format is just so heavily offense oriented, especially if you can run Scarf with immunities like Golett, who is 5-0, unbelievably. Who saw that coming? Yeah, just has a lot of advantages. So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting sort of state of the meta.
Yeah, I'm still like not super high on Scarfmons in general, but I'm also 04, so obviously I probably should reevaluate that stance.
Yeah, I think especially because you always say how you're not hot on Scarf Mons, I think double Scarf was a good ring versus you in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still think there are disadvantages to it, and like
Oh,
Amara
definitely.
this game, like it didn't come out, but because Golett had such a good matchup, but Amara would have had a harder time, I think, against my team than Golett ended up having, just because like I have you have to pick between running like clicking Earth Power for the obvious Q Fint or freeze drive for the Goldeen or stuff like that. So it's kind of like I don't think Amara like necessarily would have done stuff, but like Golett obviously did. So and there's Tailwind, which I could have used to completely outspeed all the Scarfers. Obviously he had his own Tailwind, so like I don't think Scarfers are like, I'm still gonna double down and say Scarfers aren't like excellent, but I mean they worked out here. But I think that's just that Golett was excellent here more than like Scarfers were excellent here. But
I mean, Scarf Golett is pretty good.
yeah, Scarf Golet's definitely the best Golett set, but and like Scarf Golet's kind of strong, but
I think Scarf is just a resource that we are used to being very suspicious of in LC in general, and particularly in LCUU. It's like we have like 2 or 3 Scarfers that in previous iterations of this meta we've kind of considered viable, like your Helioptile.
That's the only Scarfer I've ever considered viable.
Who else did we run? I mean,
I run Scarf Q all the time.
Q-Fint out of Kip. I've occasionally run a Scarf Natu.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you could run Scarf Joltik, theoretically.
No,
but,
don't do that.
But, you know, it's interesting that the Scarf is now being deployed for offensive breakers instead of just like, pivots. So,
yeah.
This is a meta shift.
Yeah. Any final
Hey,
thoughts
Joel,
on this? Yeah, what's up?
I had 3 questions.
Mhm.
Are you looking at the battle right now?
Yeah.
All right, so boom, right? Turn 6, you flip turn from Stunky. Why'd you do that?
So I didn't want. Oh, all right. So I flip turn because 1, I wasn't sure Drill Run would kill, and 2, if Drill Run did kill, I would have gone. I knew I was gonna go down to the aftermath. And then it would have just been a wash there. So I decided I wanted to just flip turnout in case you wanted to save this as well, because it could be good against like just having a fire move from a qfint later, or I have my own Cottony that you could sludge bomb and stuff, that you could always bring the Stunky back in. So in case you wanted to go out to that, you could have sacked your Goldeen here fairly easily, I think. And I was like, yeah, like I don't think that's that important. I didn't think I gained much from getting drill run other than allowing you to go to Cot for free. You obviously didn't know whether or not I had the poison jab, but I didn't. So like Cot for free, especially with my Stunky being gone, wasn't something I really wanted to deal with. I do have the qfint, but like, yeah, I just decided flip turn was gonna be better there. Or drill run might not have even killed. I can't quite remember, but that's basically the idea there. Plus, I knew it was slower, so I'd get whatever I decided to go out into for free, in for free. But yeah, does that make sense?
Perfect. The second question, turn 9, when the Golett froze the Cottony. I'm quite sure you knew or could sense that qfint went crazy if I allowed it to. Is there a reason why you didn't go qfint after the Cot got frozen, or were you not completely like sold on the fact that Golett was Scarf?
I mean, there was always the possibility that Golett might not be Scarf, but more so it was tilt between like the Cot being frozen, being like, well, that's useless, I can't really do anything with it, because like unlike say Sleep, where I could be like, all right, I'm guaranteed to wake up at some point, like you're not guaranteed to get out of a freeze ever. So I was like, shit. And if he's not Scarf, I could go to qfint and just like lose it for whatever reason. So I decided not to go to it there. I could have, like, if Goldeen was healthier, I would have gone to that on that turn and been able to like flip turn out and stuff. But Goldeen would have gone down to Ice Punch, to 2 Ice Punches and the poison for sure. So I just like, really, I just kind of was throwing in the towel there. I also knew qfint, like, in theory was going in, but wasn't outspeeding the Pancham, especially not with my Cot tail, especially not with the tailwind up. Especially not without a tailwind up. So, like, Pancham was always going to be able to stop it, and with Cot frozen, I didn't have a Pancham switch in anymore either, so it's like, I don't know, it just...
It's rough.
Yeah. Because, like, I go into qfint next turn after the Cot dies, and you just sack the Stunky, and basically nothing is different between what happened and if I'd gone to qfint on the second Ice Punch that killed Cottony, other than I would have a frozen Cot, because I couldn't go to the Cot on the Pancham after this. So, like, basically, I mean, I could, but like it'd be basically the same thing in my eyes. So I just didn't see a point to it. Like, the freeze sucked, but it wasn't like at this point I was already down bad in my eyes.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
But
yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. Like, sorry, Luz, I have to go because
okay.
I have to go.
Welcome back.
Goodbye, JC.
No goodbye. But well, yeah, I was listening what you guys were saying, and like I pretty much agree on everything you guys said.
Mm-hmm.
Losing the Stanky speed dice like really sucked, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even if I don't
There's nothing
lose
more
those,
to add.
like, yeah, even if I don't lose those, my Stunky's like super low because it's my Stunky switch in, because I'm just really weak to Stunky, so it's tough. But like losing it there without even being able to get a little bit more chip on the Stunky was obviously annoying, but it is what it is. I'm not too upset. I think that it was tough for me, like from the jump, really. So yeah.
Yeah, after the Goldeen ties and
Yeah.
But every time I watch the the replay over and over, I don't know, the Stunky ties, like I hit 3 fire blasts in a row into a sludge bomb poison, like
Yeah,
I don't know, objectively it just and then when I say it out loud it sounds worse, like, oh man.
yeah. I mean, it's not really that big a deal. Like the losing the Stunky ties obviously is unfortunate. You hitting 3 fire blasts obviously unfortunate for me, but like I said, Stunky was a huge threat. Like losing the Goldeen obviously mattered way more for me, but I mean winning the Goldeen, I guess, but yeah, I think you were in a just really good position based on matchup, and you played it out like as well as you could. I don't feel like I was haxed out of this game. If you're worried about that at all, I think you just brought a team that matched up well against mine, and you played it correctly.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. But yeah, we spent a lot of time on this game. I assume no one has anything else to say.
Well, I wanted to point something that is not exactly about this and the game, but rather about how Gollet is slowly getting like noticed all around because of how good it is. But yeah, I think Juwis already talked about that a bit, so
yeah,
I'd rather move on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Speaking of moving on, we will be moving on to the game between Zero and Pamp. Zero bringing out the sand, a really cool looking sand, with Carvana, very reminiscent of the sand brought by KSG in a previous week with the Carvana. And up against Pamp, Pamp's gonna bring something crazy every week, and this week he brought dark spam and ghost spam and the banded munchlax.
And the banded
Not just the
Punkabu. Don't forget about the banded
double band. I think this is the wildest team that Pamp has brought.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, so I play with Pamp all the time. He was my manager, for the mini UPL with qwes. Like, we're all still really tight. We're still active in our server.
Go team.
And I was expecting some of the stuff that Pamp, but like you can't. You're just never fully prepared for the madness that's gonna come. And I didn't want to overthink this matchup because I knew, Pamp was just gonna kind of, style on me with some craziness. So I was like, okay, Pamp looks pretty ground weak. I think KSG's sand team is kind of broken. So I kind of started from there and made some tweaks to be a little safer against Cheese. So I had the Krogunk, I had the Qfant. And the team felt really solid. But again, I got in here and I think I played it out pretty okay up until the end game. So Pamp had double banned. He had a banned Munchlax and a banned Pumpkaboo. Not something that I don't think we've ever seen before.
No,
or anyone would ever really expect. I don't know how much the bans actually came into play here. I think really not so much. I was pretty scared. I was pretty scared of the Pumpkaboo flame charging up, because with a speed boost, it would kind of like own my entire team.
Yeah, no.
And I wasn't sure if it was going to be special or mixed. We knew once it hit the Poltergeist, it wasn't Life Orb, but there was still the possibility that it could have Psychic, so I felt like Krogunk wasn't totally safe against it. So I had to play like a little conservatively. He hit me with the Mirror Coat Squirtle, which is like kind of classic Pamp move. But I felt like I was kind of in an okay position up until he revealed the boom. And yeah, the double boom, that was kind of hard to come back from. And this is very much like Pamp's style. Like he just trades and will sack Mons to take out your Mons until it's down to the last, 2 or 3. And then he's got the, whatever it is, the counter or the mirror code or the, something that sets up and just kind of wins from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Pamp is up 1 Mon. He might just have it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say I probably should have seen the Zorua coming at in that end game, and I didn't react correctly once that Munchlax used Sludge Bomb. There was also that 50-50 where we were both down really low on the timer. I was Sandshrew in on his Stunky, and I could either go for the Quake or the Knock, expecting the Pumpkaboo to switch in. I should have knocked. I didn't. I went for the safe play, and of course he went Pump, and then he boomed on the Shrew, and yeah, from there the Munchlax, which was actually a Zorua, took out the Shrew, and then I went Carve stupidly. I should have gone Krogunk there, but I think at that point it was already going to be pretty hard for me to take out the banned Munch and the Zorua. So yeah, it was tough, but it was a fun game. I mean, props to Pam for his wildness. I think everybody was just like, "What the fuck is going on?"
What was your? What were your moves on
one thing
again?
Yeah, so I didn't have Focus Blast. That kind of sucked too. If I had Focus Blast, I would have needed to hit 3 in a row, but I could have won. I was Knock, Fake Out, Vacuum Wave, Sludge Bomb.
Okay.
Okay. I'd originally been EQ, but I went for Knock over the EQ. For the not too.
You have plenty of Earthquake.
Yeah, I don't usually like running Focus Blast, but it would have been super helpful here.
Yeah,
but that's
I mean, Focus Blast is like not awful if you are going for a full special set.
No, I mean I think that's the classic, Krogunk set, right? Would be Plot, Wave, Focus Blast, Sludge Bomb. But I usually just forego the Focus Blast because I like to use Krogunk as more of a cleaner, and I don't like messing with Focus Blast. But
fair.
You could run Drain Punch.
Yeah, I think everyone's always kind of like Drain Punch, but I think Drain Punch has some merit. I don't know if that would have OHKO'd the Munch. Probably wouldn't.
Nah.
I mean, it depends on the edge of the Munchlax.
I mean, this Munchlax is a Pamp Munchlax, so it's like 32 HP max death. It's like something bullshit. So
it's made to kill Pancham. Krogunk is gone.
Yeah. Without Focus Blast, there's no way. The Focus Blast does OHKO. But yeah, it was a fun game. Props to Pam.
Yeah, I think what Pam did really well was not play Zora at all until it was so late in the game that you wouldn't expect it anymore.
Yeah, and we were both low on timer at that point, and I just was like, "Oh fuck."
Yeah,
he got me with it.
It's definitely a good shout. Was your Shrew SD or like Poison Jab as the last move?
I did go for the Poison Jab at the last minute. It originally was SD, and then I was like, Pam doesn't bring caught, but I was like paranoidly like, okay, what if there's a caught? I need a Poison Jab.
I feel that. Because there were a couple of times throughout the game where I was like, I would have really loved an SD here. And you didn't go for it. So
I know.
But knowing that you didn't have it makes a lot more sense then. But I'm talking like when you first got in versus the Stunky and you went for the Earthquake on the
totally.
Squirtle,
Yeah, that would have made that would have been good. Yeah.
But, you didn't have it, so I can't fault you for it.
Yeah. qwes is really the only person here who won this week, huh?
Yeah, man. We're all a bunch
well,
of
I
losers.
want to, but yeah.
You're playing non-LCUU. I don't even know why we allowed you here. Come on now.
What? Excuse me?
JC's awesome.
JC, did you help? Should we move on to the next game? Anyone else have any other thoughts on this one?
Nah, I think.
Of course, I helped Drake's like.
All right.
Good.
All right. Speaking of
you can talk about that in a second.
And that Rock Tomb Hippo is GOAT tier.
Yeah, Rock Tomb.
Yeah,
Hippo is really nice.
I always have the Rock Tomb on my Hippo, so But
I'm more of a Weather Balls, Scorching Sands kind of guy, but Rock Tomb go first.
Yeah.
I cannot condone
Don't sleep.
special Hippo, but
Don't sleep.
I'm also 04, so what do I know? All right. Anyway, let's get to this last game of the day. between Bag of Tricks and KSG. JC did help build Tricks' team, I assume. So let's hear the ideas heading into that.
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this was not the team we have ready until like 1 hour before of the game. So with this set, we were testing like some, and yes, I'm going to say this, some Mancelax super fat team. But like Tricks on test felt like it was like a super passive and it didn't really make any progress. So he was like, you know what? I want to Q-fund him so badly, and I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm done with it. The main idea we had was like to prep for Sand because Ghost has been like focusing a lot on like very Sanshu winning oriented kind of things or Sand. So yeah, I mean I didn't expect him to bring these months, but well, we can talk about that later. Anyways, let me go into the team. The main idea was to get like a Meowth clean up like late game easily, and I suppose everyone wants to know about the oldies. Like it was just my I don't want to lose to Sand if they have Diglett. That's just it.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean Diglett is scary, especially in Sand.
And it definitely did take out the Diglett.
I mean, I think Tricks misplayed the sequence on the Diglett versus Odys, but on his defense, he got so behind on the matchup once Panchamp missed that trash gun shot on the Cottony. Like if we got the Cottony that early, I think we could unironically won that game. But yeah, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
Anyways, if anyone has anything to say or to ask, go ahead.
Turn 3 is why we run Mold Breaker Parting Shot.
Nah, man, Gunk Shot is definitely dope. And like, just gotta not miss. That's where he really misplayed. He should have put glasses on his Pancham before he.
Or you can just run Sludge Bomb on Pancham.
The Sludge Bomb? I don't even think Sludge Bomb would kill.
It does. It kills after Stealth Rock.
Okay, well, were Stealth Rocks on the field? No.
All right, whatever.
Yeah, you just get a 30% poison chance. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
Can I ask
if
a
you poison,
question?
I think it dies.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, turn 8, I think it is, or whatever turn the Magby was in. Is Psychic Magby a thing?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's really
Definitely.
pretty standard, at least on the Life Orb set.
Yeah, Pamp was also surprised about that. I mean, you got to think like Magby and Elekid are kind of like mirrors of the same, right? So they both get that kind of seemingly random but very cool psychic coverage. They both have elemental punches.
Yeah, I mean, Psychic is really just there to hit Pancham super effectively and give you a nice mid ground a lot of times against things like or mid ground in that you don't want to miss against like a Krogunk KSG or
right,
things like that. And it can be definitely useful, especially with the amount of poison types we have in the tier, where most of the one that get used is obviously Stunky, but like you can hit Krogunk, you can hit you don't have to worry about missing versus like Oddish Budyu, Bulbasaur, those. You can hit Skrelp, you can
It's
hit
your best move versus Goldeen.
Tentacool. Yeah, it's your best move versus Goldeen.
Yeah.
Well,
it's also Elekid's best move versus Goldeen.
Yeah, that's a good mid ground in general. You could Bob Strew with it a little bit,
Yeah, I mean, So it's not like the best move.
It's
like
not
if it had
uncommon.
if it had like a special grass type move, it would obviously run that, but it doesn't have that. So like
HP grass.
yeah,
Rip.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's definitely a thing for sure. I think KSG first found out about it when he was testing against me. I was running it on a team a few weeks back, but he's brought that a few times so far. So it was surprising to see that Pamp hadn't seen it before and stuff like that.
I think it's also interesting that kind of tells you Pamp's not necessarily watching the games that closely.
Yeah.
I think Trix kind of misplayed this Natu v Natu sequence.
Yeah.
That was kind of unfortunate. I don't know why he started
yeah.
going for the psychics. I guess he thought that KSG was going to take the Natu out, but he kept going for it. And lost his Natu, which was kind of crucial.
I was
Yeah, he also switched into the Cudney with his Natu on a very telegraphed knockoff.
Yeah.
I was kind of
I mean, that's...
surprised
I
that-
mean,
yeah.
I was talking with Trix after the game, and although I'm not a fan of this, he got like so crack-headed after the miss because like he already had from preview a very tunneled game plan on him winning with Sanshu and Meowth. So after he lost,
Yeah.
after
Got kinda
he
tilted.
missed the gang shot and started and misplayed the Odys, like he kinda misplayed that a bit.
Tilt.
So yeah,
Yeah. Happens. Yeah.
To the best of us.
yeah.
Indeed.
I mean, he's still the GOAT to me, and I know he will come back for sure. So yeah,
Was the Natu not U-turn either?
it was U-turn.
Okay, I would really have expected a U-turn out of him at some point there, rather than just like having the Natus
Rating
Well,
psychic. Yeah.
fight each other.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, we didn't have Roost, and I guess
Oh,
he didn't want to like.
wait,
He
so what was the
didn't want
last?
to like.
Was it Giga?
It was Giga Drain.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess he
Gotta
didn't
be
want to
midway.
like lose the speed side, so he had to risk.
yeah,
But yeah,
I guess
I don't
would've-
run U-turn on my Natus that often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like it for like getting out of Stunky in particular, on the Switch and other things like that. Just because it's easier to switch into Stunky when it's not attacking than it is when it is attacking. Unless you have like a little leap or something who doesn't care about what Stunky's going for generally. But
Yeah, there's obviously merits to it, but generally I only run it on my Scarf Natus.
yeah, you run Calm Mind Natu though.
Yeah,
Now,
it
I've-
won me a week. What
well,
about it?
I did. I did run Calmine Natu
yeah,
1 week.
I
Yeah.
I usually don't run Calm Mind Natu, so I run a lot more U-turn.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
fair.
usually don't run U-turn as well, but like, I don't know. I think Carmine is not like awful or anything. It just it's hard to pull.
It's fine. But like, if I'm running Calm Mind Natu, there's a part of me that's like, why am I not running a Woobat? You know?
Well,
Oh, yeah, but then again,
Woobat doesn't have magic bounce, so
That's-
it gets intercepted by Codney.
No, that's very true.
Yeah.
It's definitely
And my Call My Natu are EV'd in such a way. I don't run 17, I run 16 speed because that way when you can live Knock and Dazzling Beam and Roost up just fine because you need the defensive EVs for that. So
Okay.
you can't have maximum speed.
okay. I mean, yeah, it obviously has worked out. I just haven't been. It's not a set
Yeah.
that I've really considered in general. But yeah, so those were the games this week. Only one carve or a couple carves? No, two, three, two.
If I remember right, there were 3, right?
Just two.
Two.
Just two
Oh,
carve.
okay.
One win, one loss.
Yep, it went 50-50. We've got the
Yep.
Carvana suspect voting is now open. Council members and winners of and LPL players and winners of the suspect tours are going to be able to vote on whether or not to ban Carve over the next week. We don't really know what the answer is. I don't think we need to go into that right now. I just wanted to give note of it that the decision will be made at the end of next week and will be made before playoffs. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. Anyone have any pertinent thoughts on the Carve suspect in general, or do we want to just wait for that video?
Oh,
I think
Separate vid for the suspect. Joel?
Yeah, once the decision comes out, I think.
Okay.
This is
Post decision.
Yeah, this is a little inside baseball, but
yeah, sounds about right.
Thinking post decision would be a good time to go over what our thoughts and stuff on it were. I'd prefer to get if any pre-discussion out in writing in the threads and stuff like that. But if you guys
we can
do
talk
have
about
anything,
qwes losses.
yeah, qfint did not have a great week. I don't think they were necessarily qfint's fault, but yeah, was not.
I think qfint is still a pretty good mon. You know, I think the speed tier is a little tough for it.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's definitely true. But
I mean, I don't think the problem is qfint, but rather than qfint doesn't want to
take hits.
see qfint prefers the bulkier meta that we have last LPL
for sure.
because it doesn't really have time to come in safely without taking a major hit or losing Kisebio. The only time that where qfint gets to come in for free is on Kotoni, and is going to always lose the Aviolite, so it won't come in on any other attack ever again, unless it's on the Kotoni.
Yeah, it's
which
pretty
really
tricky.
sucks to it.
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the most favorable meta for him. But it is what it is. Yeah.
May I ask where the Zigzagoons were?
I don't think
we
people
haven't-
enjoy
The
running
lack of
Zigzagoon.
Meow?
I mean, there was some Meowth. Trix brought one. I think that was it. But
Yeah,
there were
Meowth
other normal
pops up
types.
here and there.
Yeah, there were other normal types
I
that got shown up. You're not gonna run double normal in general, with fighting types
I
being
mean,
so good.
I ran that if I remember correctly.
Did you bring it this season, JC?
I don't know. I don't know if it kept on the test, or if I don't actually remember if I always used it on test,
JC has-
or
Yeah,
if
JC
I
has used the
actually
double normal
broke
team.
it.
I don't know if that's a great structure, but it has a lot of offensive pressure, obviously, which maybe works better in this meta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw Munchlax get a couple uses. We saw Bunnelby make a debut.
Yep.
You're generally not gonna run Meowth plus those just because, especially not plus Bunnelby, because there's no defensive utility at all. Coming from
And switching into Pancham is already hard.
Yeah. So I don't.
And what'd you guys say about Zigzagoon?
And Zigzagoon, I just think, people don't necessarily Zigzagoon needs such a tailored team to it. I mean, you can just get away with Memento if you wanted to, but I don't know. I don't like running Zigzagoon personally, and
I don't think any of us do. I think we all don't like using a Zigzagoon.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but then again, I'm pretty sure that if the meta was bulkier, we would be seeing more cheese kind of teams. I'm pretty sure of it.
Maybe.
Like,
Zigzagoon
but
doesn't
it's
even.
but I
not
think
not
it's
from me personally, because like I despise cheese with the bottom of my heart, but
I think but I
I
think
think
part of the reason why the meta isn't bulkier is because everyone has kind of wants to be prepared for cheese.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why we're in this like super speed creep like life orb offense meta, because everybody's like
There's not a single
well,
team
I
that
don't
Zigzagoon
necessarily
actually
agree
wins
with
against
that
either,
because
other than KSG's.
yeah,
KSG's is the only team that Zig was even had a chance of winning against, actually.
yeah, I think everybody still continues to prep for cheese, even though it has not appeared like at
Yeah.
all. But
well, yes and no, because I mean, you prepare for it, but you don't like prepare for it intentionally. Because the thing is, you prepare for it, but your preparation is like Meowth, Bakungwit, Krogong, and those kind of priority or Encore Kotsune, which are not really meant to be there because of cheese, but rather because of other stuff like Urbana or
well, they function in both
Pancham or
situations,
stuff
right?
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I see your point,
Yeah.
and I think that's fair. But I do think
mean,
people still think about it, right? Like it's not like everyone's like, oh, there's no cheese. Like they're like it's
Oh no,
it's
yeah, definitely.
yeah.
I think the meta's
I
kind of
also think Natu is too much for the tier, but yeah, that yes for me.
Natu was kind of hard to build around in the builder. Actually, a lot of builder this week for me was really like kind of stressful because you got a lot of threats and nothing that clearly outshines another thing. Like in LCOU, you're like, okay, I need a vol check, I need a food check, I need, you got like clearly defined answers, and like the tier is in a very experimental, testy, offensive kind of state.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
That's
no,
true.
I've been saying for a few weeks, there's no such thing as a perfect LCUU team right now. You're always going to be weak to something. I
Oh,
was
yeah, definitely.
overly weak to Stunky. Like,
I was overly
you-
weak to Munchlax.
Yeah, you can't cover
I was
everything.
overly weak to Magby,
Yeah.
and we can keep going.
Yeah, you can't
But
cover
yeah.
everything, and that's part of, and because there's no because the top mons are all really good, but like they don't, not one stands out over another one. Like you said, you just have to cover all of them, but you can't. So you always are feeling, less than satisfied with your builds. At least I am in recent weeks, and I feel like a lot of people are feeling similarly about the meta right now. Hopefully that can
Yeah,
change
like-
at some point, but for now that's kind of what we're dealing with. But,
Yeah.
Working on fixing it.
yeah,
First step coming this weekend.
yeah, exactly.
I
I
am
mean-
hopeful that if Carve gets banned, which isn't clear, but if it does, I do think that'll help a little bit. I don't think it will completely fix the problem because, as everyone has mentioned, there are so many threats.
I think I personally think that banning Carp, if it really goes, which is something I don't know. Like I know some GUIs are pro ban, but I don't know the opinion of much others. So yeah, but if Carp goes, I think that only fix like one part of it of the problem. So
Yeah, totally. I think there will still be issues in the builder, but I do think it will alleviate some pressure and hopefully make it clearer what the next steps are. So I'm voting ban.
All right.
For those who
Yeah.
don't know yet.
Yeah. But I think we've talked enough for this week. Next week is the final week of the regular season. Next week is the final week. We're going to have 4 games to talk about. We'll probably still do these for playoffs and stuff. We might even get a big old regular season recap if I've got time to actually sit down and come up with things. That would be a more structured thing than what these have been. But we will see when we get there. But for now, that'll be it from us today. If you enjoyed and you got this far, gold star for you. And please hit that subscribe button for more competitive LCUU content. Stay like. I don't remember what I was saying. You just kind of talk and lose your mind. I'm tilted.
Hit the bell.
Yeah. Notification gang. Where you at? But yeah, we'll be back next week. Obviously, we'll see which cast shows up, and yeah, say goodbye, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
Okay, see ya, boys.
Adios.
All right.